Listen, alcohol is just out in 2024. There is a rising trend of going alcohol-free or being sober curious, and alcohol, the truth is, it's just bad for you and can famously impair your sex life. So if you're looking for another way to unwind, relax, or just have fun, I cannot recommend Via's THC gummies enough. Via has gummies for every occasion. Whether it's to improve your sleep, I love their sleep gummies. I take them everywhere. Your mood or your focus. They even have an aphrodisiac gummy called High Love to boost my arousal levels. High Love has a unique blend of cannabinoids and aphrodisiac exotic herbs that are known for their libido enhancing effects. So I've been using Via for a while now, and I absolutely love them. They're a super trusted company. They use premium hemp, natural ingredients, and they're known for their premium indoor THCA flower. All their products are made here in the US. They got quick and discreet shipping to all 50 states so you can all enjoy them, not to worry. And also super affordable. So head over to viahemp.com and use code Emily at checkout to save 15% off your order. That's VIIAHEMP.com. Use code Emily at checkout for 15% off your order and let me know what you think. Urinary tract infections are extremely common. Around 1 in 2 women and 1 in 20 men will get a UTI in their lifetime. Plus, once you've had one UT challenge, you're way more susceptible to another in the future. That's why you just need Just Thrive's UT123. This product can actually prevent UTIs while maintaining your urinary tract health. UT123 targets both immediate and long-term relief. We've all heard to drink cranberry juice for your urinary tract, but did you know that for the full effects, you need the whole cranberry? Not just juice, but the skin, flesh, and even the seeds. Well, UT123 uses superior ingredients that utilizes the whole fruit. This supplement truly is the full package. So if you're someone who struggles with the constant urge to urinate, a burning feeling when you pee, pelvic pain, or just want to be proactive in your urinary health, Just Thrive is for you. Just Thrive is so confident you'll love their product that there is a 100% money-back guarantee on every purchase made through justthrivehealth.com. And for a limited time, you can save 20% off site-wide at justthrivehealth.com with promo code SEXWithEmily. That's justthrivehealth.com and use code SEXWithEmily for 20% off your order. You're going to love it. So you know I'm obsessed with candles, right? Have you ever heard of massage oil candles? Okay, so get this. I always light candles when I'm enjoying a glass of wine with friends, and recently they were over and I lit 3 candles for my new line called Emily and Tony. My skin felt really dry, so I went ahead and poured some of it on my hands and I gave myself a quick massage. My friends were stunned that I did this and immediately were obsessed. And here's why. See, these candles are really aromatherapy massage oils that when warmed like a candle, they melt into the most luxurious body oil that is super hydrating, leaves your skin feeling and smelling amazing, and it's perfect for massaging your partner or yourself. You can use it during foreplay, and you know me, I'm a firm believer in foreplay. They come in delicious flavors like creme de vanilla, cocoa, and fougere. Not just that, they look great in your home. So help us keep this podcast free. Check them out today at emilyandtony.com. And you're welcome.
Look into his eyes. They're the eyes of a man obsessed by sex. Eyes that mock our sacred institutions. Bedroom eyes, they call them in a bygone day.
Hey, Emily, you got a boyfriend? Because my man E here, he just got his heart broken. He thinks you're kind of cute.
A girl's got to have her standards. Oh, my.
Do women know about shrinkage?
Isn't it common knowledge?
What do you mean, like laundry? It shrinks?
Can we not talk about sex so much?
Are you kidding me?
Oh my God, I feel so good.
Being bad feels pretty good. Well, you know, Emily's not the kind of girl you just play with.
You're listening to Sex with Emily. We're talking about sex, relationships, and everything in between. For more information, go to sexwithemily.com where you can listen to all of our podcasts, sign up for our mailing list. Oh my God, and right now is the best time to go to sexwithemily.com because I've got a new special report on my website that you all have to get. It's free. 5 biggest mistakes women are making in bed and 5 biggest mistakes men are making in bed. And, you know, mistake is kind of a negative word. I'm not saying you did it on purpose, but there are some things that you're doing and I'm telling you how to improve them. So just go to my website, check it out. We've also got tons of videos and I've got hundreds of podcasts. Subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. And also, as always, check me out on Facebook and Twitter, which is Sex with Emily, at Sex with Emily on Twitter and Facebook.com/SexWithEmily. I'm really excited for today's guest. It is Jason. He is a dating coach, but he's just not your everyday dating coach. He's got some game. He knows what he's talking about. He knows how to get the chicks. It's amazing the stories that he has. He blew my mind. I met him and I was like, holy moly, you've got to come on my show and share all this knowledge that you have with my listeners, because he teaches men how to be their best selves with women and how to get the women you want, and then how to sleep with them, which is what I know y'all want anyway, right? That's why you're listening to Sex with Emily. But we're going to give you some good dating tips and some tips once you get the chick, what to do with her. It's going to be a fun show. Hi, Jason.
Hi.
Hi. So glad to have you on the Sex with Emily show today.
I'm glad to be here in the studio with you as well.
It is amazing. Okay, so tell me, how'd you get into this biz?
That is a very good question. So I was born out of my mother's womb with game. I just came out and knew what to say. So I was like, I need to share this gift with the world. That's entirely false. Actually, it's the exact opposite. What happened here? I was actually a virgin until I was 20 years old.
Wow.
Which is fairly late. Like for most people, it's not like incredibly late. I'm not like Steve Carell in that movie, right? But all my friends lost their virginity when they were teenagers, and I was a basketball player. All I did was play basketball every single day. I ended up playing college basketball. I was literally a college athlete who wasn't getting laid.
I didn't even know that exists.
Right, shocking concept,
so that's
right?
why you become a college athlete, just so you can get laid.
Right, for the girls.
Right.
I was weird. I actually became a college athlete because I liked the sport. It's totally backwards, right?
Yeah.
But the reason was because I was so obsessed with basketball that freshman, sophomore year of college, and my friends are going to college parties and meeting girls and... Can I swear on the show, by the way?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. They're going to parties. I just said the F-bomb a lot. And they're going to, like, fucking girls, and everyone's having fun and shit. I'm in the gym Friday night shooting hoops. Like, that was what I did. I didn't mingle with girls because I was so focused. So, while that made me a really good basketball player, it did nothing for my more important game, which was, of course, talking with women. So, when I became really burned out in basketball at the age of 20 and I stopped playing, I was like, I'm, like, 20 years old. I probably have some urges here I should probably, like, figure out. So, I first started going to parties with friends and stuff. And I'll never forget the first college party I ever went to. We walk in and it's like this big frat house, right? And there's drunk guys and drunk girls, everyone's partying, right? College is like the best parties ever.
Right.
So I walk in for my buddies and immediately they like dart over to this group of like 8 girls who they like knew or whatever. And they're like picking the girls up and the girls are like laughing and everyone's like kissing and dancing and flirting. And I'm sitting there like, and I walk in and I'm like, how are you doing that? Like, what are you saying to them?
It was like foreign. It was like watching.
It was literally, because when they went over there, right, I didn't just stand away from them. Like, after 20 seconds, I was like, I should probably go talk to these people, too. And I walk over, and it's like, the girl would talk to them. She'd be giggling, laughing, flirting, attracted. And then she'd talk to me, and it'd be awkward and boring. And then 10 seconds later, she'd be like, you want to go talk to the people who make me feel good?
Or I have to go to the bathroom. Or I have to get another drink.
Exactly. And then
I've been that girl, right.
So I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. And of course, me, I have like this obsessive personality to figure everything out that I'm interested in. I was like, this I need to fucking figure out. So started hanging around guys who were really good with girls. I got a mentor. I started reading books on the subject. And then, one thing led to another. I got deeper and deeper and deeper. And now, almost 5 years later, this is all I do. So this is like, so you could say like my teenage years, I was obsessed with basketball. And the minute I hit 20, and since then, I've just been obsessed with everything male, female dynamics.
And now you have a really successful dating coach business, and you have products and all this stuff, and which is so cool, what you just told me, that you're going to be giving away to our listeners a free report, which is the deadliest pickup line of all times.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's not a report, it's going to be a video.
It's a video. Okay, good. Even better. You don't need to read. You don't have to read.
Fuck reading.
Right. Who wants to read? So that's going to be at sexwithemily.com/Jason, which is so easy. Okay, so you can check out all what Jason is about, because if you're going to want to know more about Jason, believe me, after you listen to this interview. Okay, so you became obsessed with women and studying women. And so then when did you lose your virginity then?
So that's a good question. That took maybe 6 weeks or so from that point when I decided. Not bad. Right, I thought that was pretty good, right?
Yeah.
And then, of course, it was like the first domino fell, and then it's like, you start to pick up some momentum and some steam, and the game just keeps getting better and better and better and better. So by the time I left my college campus, I was holding these impromptu seminars at like different frat houses and stuff, teaching these guys game on like a whiteboard. Like, in this situation, you should be saying these kinds of things and approach the girl this way, and if you want to take her home, here's what you should say. I was literally, had groups of 10 or 20 guys, listening to me teach this stuff, which was
So
insane.
give me an example. Okay, so when people hear game, they think of, Strauss, the pickup. You say you're not a pickup artist, but, I feel like every pickup, because you're not, you're more of, a dating coach, and you do it with more of a heart, perhaps? Or
Hopefully,
you don't?
Yeah. My mom would like to think
okay.
so. I certainly do. Because here's the thing. I think the term pickup artist implies certain things that I don't like or embody. I think it implies like you're manipulating someone to do something that they don't necessarily want to do. What I'm teaching guys is two things. It's number one, how to become the most attractive version of yourself. Okay, so you don't need to manipulate anybody, but simply by being this most badass, awesome version of yourself, you're going to naturally attract all the women that you want. And then two, I'm not going to teach you how to manipulate a woman, but there are certain things you can say and certain things that you can do to make her want to come home with you, to make her want to sleep with you. So you're not manipulating her, but you're just like pushing these buttons that she wants to, like, she wants you to push. And like I'm kind of giving guys like a blueprint, like push these buttons, like they want you to do it.
That's what you were drawing on the whiteboard in college, were the buttons.
Yeah, exactly, certain things like that.
So what are those buttons? That's what I want to know.
Sure. Well, what are we talking about?
Well, as
attraction?
a woman, I try to think about like, God, I mean, because now that I've been, I've met so many people I've been doing this for a long time, and I've met a lot of guys who like are professionals in dating and getting women, all this different stuff. But then I started thinking back about my past and like, wow, like why was I attracted to that guy? All the guys I would get hit on, I get hit on a lot in college. I was a cocktail waitress, and I was like, a million guys. I was like, what were the ones? It was the ones who were funny or who were smart or were confident, all those things. But like, how do you teach that? Like,
sure. So, I mean, right, because, like, the common dating advice is just have a great sense of humor and be really confident, right?
Right.
Like,
That's
cool.
it. Right.
What the fuck
Guys
am I
are like,
supposed to do with that?
Right.
That makes it, right?
Doesn't help.
How can you take a guy who's not confident and be like, all right, dude, just be
Be
confident.
confident. Bye-bye. Have a nice day. Yeah.
Exactly. So, instead, what I'm teaching is my formula, like, generally speaking, to attract any woman. I'm not saying that you're going to make any woman sleep with you, because there's a lot more that goes into that. But just, like, even when you're in a relationship, you still meet guys and you feel, like, attraction towards them. Like, guys, they might be dating one girl, but if they meet someone else, they're not necessarily going to fuck her or pursue her, but they'll feel, like, you still have those feelings.
Attraction, right.
It just happens. We feel attracted all the time. And the combination for guys, it's not necessarily looks, it's not money, it's this combination of, I call it being fun and challenging at the same time. And if a guy can be fun or playful, have that sense of humor, right? But he can also be challenging to her at the same time, that's going to create this, like, this opening in her that's going to feel like I'm intrigued by this guy. Does that make sense?
We want to feel something different. We're like,
course.
another guy's hitting on me. I know he's doing that, but if you like elicit some kind of emotion in me, that's like, and we all want to be challenged, and we all want to win, or whatever it is. So we're like, oh, he's doing something. So how do you teach that then?
Okay, well, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Do you, like, when you were, like, really single and guys were hitting on you all the time and
I am
everything
still
like that?
single.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, really single, but I'm never really single, but I've never really committed either. But go ahead.
I like that. I feel the same way about myself. So, when a guy hits on you and you get one of those feelings, you're like, I need to, like, get out of here and excuse myself to go to the bathroom or something. What the things do you, like, what is usually happening? What is
That's
usually
a great
going on?
question. I'm because I've tried to like channel back to the time where I was like at parties. I was like, oh, I'm gonna go get a drink, know. I'm usually just like bored. He's asking me where I'm from, what I do for a living. Like but it's in a way that there's no attraction. I'm not interested. I'm just bored. I'm like, and I've got like you need to get my attention. You've got 30 seconds, and if you're, I can tell already, and I'm not interested in it. Nothing's sparking in me. Nothing's interesting. Not even if he's cute or not. Like it's not. I'm not even a girl who's like, oh, he's got to be hot. That it's for me, women, the brain is our largest sex organ. So you need to turn our brains on. And so these guys were not turning my brains on. They were boring me, and I, had to do the fake bathroom swoop. Like, gotta go to the bathroom, gotta be with friends. Yeah. And he wasn't doing anything.
Right. And when you say the brain part, I mean, it's the emotional brain part that needs to be, that's where guys need to hit. So when guys go up to a girl and they're getting this reaction of like, I'm not interested, I'm going to go, floss my cat's teeth or something right now or something like that. Like, that happens because he didn't spark any emotions in her. It was purely a logical conversation. When a guy can go up to a girl that he just met and he can push a button or spark some emotion in her, something different, a different feeling, she's going to be intrigued. She's hooked now. She wants to know a little bit more. But, you can go up to a girl and you can go up to, like, you can spark an emotion in the wrong way. You can go up to her and be like, you know what, you're really ugly. Like, if that's going to get an emotional response out of her...
That's going to put her in therapy for the next 20 years.
It's probably not going to get you laid, though, right?
Right.
She's really low self-esteem. But if you go up to her and you are playful and you're challenging to her at the exact same time...
So give me an example. Pick me up right now.
So one of my... I'll just lift you up. One of my favorite things to do, okay, that I always tell guys, this is like one you can just test out, and this will probably work for you, is I go up to a girl and I say, hi, I'm Jason. What's your name? And she goes, hi, I'm Emily.
Hi, I'm Emily.
And I go, nice to meet you. I'm psychic. I'll just like...
You say I'm psychic?
Yeah, I'm psychic. Did you know that? And she'll be like it's weird, right? It's
Right.
really something off
Like,
the wall.
No, I just met you, and
Right.
what do you mean?
Right, and I'll be like, yeah, it's weird. You know, it happened last week. I got hit in the head with this football, and I've been psychic ever since. Do you have any psychic power? Like, you make it a fun. It's totally,
Right.
It's just playful, right?
So let's do it. I'll be like, I don't know. I mean, I've been to psychics before. I don't know if I have psychic powers.
But you probably felt like at one point where like there was some weird like ESP thing that happened, right?
Yeah, totally.
Right, like someone called you that you thought was going to call you.
Yeah,
or
you
something.
think about someone and they call, or you run into them at the street.
Right? Okay, so one, we're being playful now, and we're just connecting
Right.
on something totally random. But also, right now, at this moment, what I would do is I'd say, okay, now we're being playful, right?
Right.
But now I want to challenge you at the same time. So I would say, okay, well, let's see how good your psychic powers are. And then I'll turn to the rest of the room, and I'll say, him, right there. What's his name?
Bob.
No, I think that's entirely wrong. Try again.
Mark.
Okay, that's probably a little bit better. What does Mark do? And now we go back and forth. We make up a story about him.
Right.
It'd be
And
fun.
it's our fun conversation.
Exactly.
He hasn't gotten laid ever, 3 months. He's way too drunk right now, and he needs to wear a different shirt.
Yeah, he smells too. I don't know if you noticed. He's a little.
No,
BO.
does he? That's why he's standing alone. I see. So then we're creating a dialogue, and it's fun, and you're not asking me where I live and what I do for a living.
Well, here's the thing.
Like, please don't ask me that off the bat. Like, guys, like,
Well, here's the thing. Why would a high value, like naturally attractive dude be interested in those personal questions about someone he just met? You know what I mean? Like, she's done nothing to make him be like, wow, I need to know more about you. Tell me about you. Like, that should happen after she's invested some and she's earned it a little bit.
Right.
And you should be doing the same for her. Like, it should be an equal amount of investment. Like, if a guy goes up to a girl and he's just like, what do you do? Where are you from? What's your job? What's your favorite color? Like, all this bullshit. Why would he be so interested in someone that he just met? Like, does that make sense?
Yeah, because I'm just thinking you want to sleep with me, and that's why you're talking to me.
Exactly. You've done nothing to prove to him that you're something more than just a pretty face.
Right.
And he clearly doesn't. Like, you could be basically saying you could be anybody. I'm just trying to make 15 minutes of conversation so I can say, give me your phone number. Which is total bullshit.
Right.
Instead, what the guy should be coming up to the girl with is his mindset of, I'm going to play with her, we're going to have fun, we're going to flirt, and then I'm going to find out if she can hang with me or not. If she does, if she can hang with me and we can actually vibe on some level, then I might be more intrigued and interested and inclined to learn a little more. But until then, I'm not like, I don't give a shit about that. I just want to have fun. And she just wants to have fun. You know, and then what's going to happen is you go up and you're playful with her and you're challenging with her. She's going to start to feel those emotions. She's going to start to get attracted to you, and she's going to want to know those things about you also. And now you guys can actually have like a real dialogue.
So you start with something that's kind of playful and conversational, but guys have a hard time with this. Like, you can tell them this, but they're nervous. They see a woman, they get shut down. Oh, she's hot. I want to talk to her. And it's like, you know, I guess we always say like being observational, notice something that she's doing and make a joke about it. Some people just aren't naturally.
Right. Well, so the reason, I mean, this is like a long-term process, but the reason guys are so tight and they're like, well, she's really hot, like I can't do that with her.
Right.
Is because everyone is so fucking outcome dependent nowadays. Everyone is so obsessed and attached to getting this one outcome. And the problem is, when those guys, when they see a really hot girl, the outcome that they're so attached to isn't fucking her, which is totally screwy. The outcome that they're so attached to is not getting rejected by her.
Right.
Which is even worse.
Because they're going to get rejected.
If you're thinking, I don't want to get rejected by her, what's going to happen?
You're going to get rejected.
Of course.
Right.
You're going to
Positive.
manifest whatever you're thinking. Exactly. Right. So first of all, instead of thinking, I don't want to get rejected by her, you're going to think about an outcome. It should be, you know, really, when I go up to a girl, the only outcome I have in my mind is I'm going to have fun.
Right, let's have fun. I'm going to have
fun.
fun. I'm going to have a great night. Right,
yeah.
exactly.
I'm going to entertain myself, and by me doing that, I'm going to create this fun, playful energy around me that she's going to feel attracted towards, because she's going to want a part of that.
That is so. I want everyone to like pay attention to that, because when we're talking about building confidence, that's what we're talking about. Because that makes you feel confident, and also to think that I'm just going to have fun right now. It's about me. Like, it's because it should all be about us, right? Like, at the end of the day, no, like, we're born alone, you die alone. People hate when I say that. I mean, whatever. I believe in togetherness, but the truth is, if you don't feel good, no one else is going to want to be with you if you don't feel good about yourself. So the fact that you're taking away from her, like giving her all the power, you're like, I'm just going to go have fun. This is going to be fun. You're not even thinking about rejection and the worst thing that's going to happen. You're like, I'm going to party, I'm going to go talk to a chick and make it fun.
I'm going to have fun. Exactly. And what's ironic about it is when you know I'm going in there, I'm just going to fucking entertain myself. I'm going to say what I want. I'm going to do what I want. That's like self-charging. Like, that charges you up, because now you're not worried about what she's thinking or what he's thinking or what anyone, you don't give a fuck. Right. You're literally having fun in your own world, in your own body, whatever you want to call it, and that's going to draw people in. That is what attractive energy is. When we see someone doing what they want and saying what they want, and they're free and they're happy, we want to be around that person, because we want some of that. We want to be freer. We want to be happier. We want to be more excited about the shit we're saying. So that's
So
going to
we're
attract
attracted
her.
to people like that.
Of
who
course,
are
we're attracted to
passionate.
people who are free. People who are free, happy, passionate, excited, whatever you want to call it. That's who we want to be around. We want to be around those people all the time.
Right.
And that's what I'm talking about when I'm saying, like, become a naturally attractive virgin. You're not going up to a girl. Like, I could say lines to you that would be little, like, button pushes. Like, little lines that would, like... So we all know, like, the old age, like, people want what they can't have.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I would call that, like, transient attraction.
Okay.
Because I can say something to a girl, like, you know, she tells me she's from Pasadena, and I'm like, oh, girls from Pasadena are trouble. Like, we definitely can't be drinking buddies anymore. And I take the drink from her or something like that. Like, that is like a button push, right?
Right.
And that's going to make her feel like she can't have me for a second, and she'll feel a pull towards me, and that's great. But that's not gonna make her want to fuck me.
Right.
But that's just like a fun, playful thing. But if you are this guy who has this like masculine, attractive, doesn't give a fuck, he's free, he's self-entertaining, you have that energy about you, and that's lasting. That's who she's going to be around.
And you can teach that to people.
Yeah, of course.
It can be learned. Everything can be learned.
Of
People
course.
think they don't have it and they can't get it,
Mm-hmm.
and they live in the worst town to date in, and everywhere they live they can't meet anyone. And I'm just like, you've got to work on yourself. You've got to work on becoming the best version of yourself.
Of course.
So these are some great ways to do it.
It all starts with you.
It all
always
starts
with you.
So if you're not feeling good about yourself, you're in a bad place, you're in a funk, you're not feeling good about your job, all that stuff, you got to do things right now. Like, don't focus on the women right now, or the man. If you're a woman listening, don't focus on the man. Like, focus on making yourself better, whole. You know,
Happier, yeah.
Happier,
I mean,
whole.
just if you were to just look at your days, like, how many of the things that you're doing every day are things that you wanted to do for you, and how many of the things you're doing are things for other people? Like, I mean, we get into these, like, if all day long you're doing stuff for someone else, or for the approval of someone else, or to please someone else, or because some boss told you to do it, whatever it is, you know, you get stuck in this pattern of that's your pattern. Your default pattern is I do stuff for other people. But if all day long you're doing stuff for you, and you're saying things for you, and you're saying what you want, all of a sudden your pattern becomes I'm doing what I want. So when you go out at night, nothing changes. You're still doing that.
Exactly.
And that's who we're
It's
attracted
attractive.
to.
So what creates the attraction between two people then? That would be when they're seeing you, when they're seeing you being your most positive self.
Sure.
But what else is it like? What
Sure,
about
yeah.
chemistry and
Let's get a little
attraction?
more.
Something weird just happened here. Hold on a minute. Okay, we're good. Good.
So, yeah, I mean, let's get a little more, like, specific here.
Yeah.
So,
We're good. Go. Okay. Yeah.
what was your question? You said it one more time.
What creates attraction between two people?
Sure. So, there's...
What is it about? People are like,
Well,
what is it?
The big part of attraction is we are usually attracted to people who we feel are of higher status than we are. Okay, it's higher status or higher value, whatever you want to call it. And a lot of people think that the way to, like, demonstrate or convey that you are a high status human being to someone else is, like, your cars or your clothes or where you live or your house. And we don't trust that. Like, we know that someone could have been born with rich parents. They didn't earn that money. Or we know that someone could have gotten lucky on some .com bubble burst or something like that. And made, like, we don't trust those things. On some subconscious level, if we meet a guy who drives, like, a kick-ass car and has a sick house or something like that, like, but he's like a faggot or he's a nerd or he's
Right.
a douchebag or whatever it is, then none of that shit means anything. He's still a low-status person to us. Okay? Which is good, because for the guys who don't have a lot of money or stuff like that,
Right.
that's just not something they
Yeah,
wanted.
let me just say one point, a little segue here.
Mm-hmm.
I've had guys who come to me and, like, in the first 3 minutes they're telling me about their Rolls Royce that's parked in their driveway. They're like, oh, I've got this Rolls Royce and I'm kind of stressed because I left in the driveway. I'm, like, running out of there so fast. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a shit that you have a Rolls Royce or what you have. Like, to me, and other women might feel differently, but I don't care, like, what you own, what you do, what you have. It's about probably what you're going to say
Mm-hmm. Well,
next.
I'll ask you, what does it say about that guy who feels the need to
That
tell you
he's
about his
so
Rolls Royce?
insecure that he's leading with his Rolls Royce and he probably has no penis.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Not
I
even
mean,
a small one, just none.
He's not. He's
Right.
penisless.
Right. He's
Right.
castrated. No, but guys who have to
fellas.
lead with, like, what they do and, like, how much money they have in their cars, you know that they're not a confident man. Because
Mm-hmm. Right.
he's like, I have to tell you all these outside things
They're-
about
so
myself.
They're communicating.
He's defining himself.
They're
through his
communicating that they don't
goods.
see themselves
Exactly.
as high status. They're communicating they see themselves as low status there. They're literally telling you, they're going, hi, Emily, I'm low status. How
Right.
do you like me now?
Right.
What they're saying. So, one, they're doing that wrong. And two, they're selling you.
Right.
Okay? The ideal way to do it, if you want to pick up a girl, is you make her sell to you. You flip it around. Right? And they're I mean, it's ridiculous. They're doing
How
the
do you
exact
do
wrong things. How do you flip that around?
Flip it around. Do it to me.
So we call it qualifying.
Do it.
Right.
Yeah.
So I would say something to you. I would say something like, you know what, you, like, clearly you have, like, very, like, type A, like, high energy about you, but I'm sure there's other times where you can, like,
I do?
chill and relax.
I thought I chilled out since I moved to LA.
No, you're very high word.
Okay.
But see?
What?
You're kind of like, you're like opening up here. But I would say to you, like, but I'm sure there's times where you are more chill and like vibing and laid back. Like, that would be true, right?
Right.
So like, when do those times happen? Like, I'm just curious.
When do I chill and vibe?
Yeah, when do you find the time to chill and vibe?
Lately? No. With friends, exercise, running, yoga. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like, when you're doing those things, like when you're doing yoga and you're like starting to like mellow out, like what changes like in your mindset for you, like when that happens?
I guess I just clear my mind and I become calmer and I focus on my breath and I let all my thoughts go and I just become a more chill person. I think my friends too, surround myself by like people I love and people who are funny and smart and
they kind of like rub off on you in the same way.
Yeah.
I know like I love it during yoga, like that moment at the end, like I think it's called Shavasana.
Shavasana, yeah.
Where you just disappear into your mat. Like that to me is one of my favorite feelings.
Mine
the
too.
world, right?
Mine too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you see what just happened here?
Yeah.
So I opened you up, right? Because I'll explain exactly what I did. But I kind of opened you up because I'm present to the moment. I was able to do that. And then I kind of went deeper into something that you really enjoy and had you explain it to me, what it feels like.
Right.
And all those
feelings.
things.
You asked me about what it feels like, right?
Of course.
That's key.
Of course. But what that's doing is you're investing something personal into the interaction. Right? Mm-hmm. Did you feel that way?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So you could call that you selling yourself, but it means...
No, but I even felt at this moment, even though we're doing this interview and we're practicing, like I did feel more connected to you. Like
right.
I felt like, oh wow, okay.
Well, we did just connect in the Shavasana thing. I didn't know that. Yeah.
I feel so connected. Okay.
But that was you investing into the interaction. And that's how you flip it around. So it's not you saying I have a fucking Rolls Royce. It's
right.
No, you're the one talking, I'm listening, and I'm leading the conversation in the way that I want it to go, which this is a big key. It was just kind of a segue, and we'll get to the honest signals thing in a second. But we talk about it that guys usually ask, there's like two types of questions that people ask. Okay. There's data questions and there's process questions.
Data and process? Okay.
Data versus process. When a guy asks a data question, it's what do you do? How old are you? Where do you live? The answers are pure data, right? They're not open-ended questions. They don't lead anywhere, and there's no emotional investment involved with them. Mm-hmm. But a process question is me asking you what the process is like. So when you say you do yoga, I say, what is it like for you when you enter in Shavasana and you just totally just like relax and dissolve into the moment? What is that like for you? We're talking about the process of what it's like.
Right.
Exactly. What's your favorite part about it? What do you enjoy most about it? When did you first discover that this was something that was really important to you? Like, we're talking about the process as opposed to data. Data is like a dead end.
I'm from Michigan. I live here. I do that. Right.
And now we have nothing to talk
Nowhere
about.
to go. Right.
But now I'm asking process questions. You're telling me what it feels like to dissolve into the mat or whatever. And then I can now that you've invested, I can relate back, and now we can connect, because you told me about this emotion where it feels like you're dissolving, and I go, like, that's my favorite part of yoga too, is when I'm sitting there and I describe my feelings to you, and now that's how an emotional connection is made. But you can't emotionally connect on I'm from Michigan and I'm this old.
We're both from Michigan, by the way.
Very
funny.
odd.
I know, very odd. Okay, so right, I got it. Data versus process. So guys should focus more on the process questions.
Don't ask data questions. Just stick to the process. Not even process questions. Like, process questions are great, but just have a process conversation where, like, that's when girls talk about they meet a guy and they're like, and their friends are like, what did you like about him? Like, during the conversation, it's just like, I don't know. We just vibed. We just clicked. That's what happens when you're having a process conversation. You're both sharing related experiences, funny stories, little anecdotes, and it's just like, it's this constant vibe going back and forth. And no one's like trying to, like, I'm trying to pick her up, I'm trying to get something for her, she's trying to get something from him. It's just pure vibing. And that's what chemistry is.
That is chemistry. And it's emotional. It's like you open me up emotionally.
It's totally emotional, yeah.
Emotional question. Now, what about sub-communications?
Okay, so this is what I want to talk about.
Okay.
This is the honest signals I was talking about before.
Honest signals?
Okay. So we have it totally laid out that people are attracted to people of higher status, right? Like this.
Yeah,
this
I
is
want to
the
go
thing.
back to that. Is it really like?
But it's
Can we be equals too? Don't you think we're equals, some people? Or you think initially we're attracted?
I think we're all born equal, but then I think...
No, I'm saying, but in life, couples, do you think that couples are never equal? Or you're saying in the attraction phase, we're attracted
I'm
to
talking
our
about early on.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I mean, but the thing is, if a girl ends up, like, committing to a guy for a relationship, and, like, it starts off where he's, like, higher status than her and she's attracted to that, she doesn't want him to go down. Why would she want that? She wants the biggest badass. That's what... I mean, why wouldn't she, right? And he wants the same thing out of her. So... honest signals or high stat, like, so I say honest signals are the signals that are communicating what level of status that you are. Okay, false signals would be cars, clothes, like where you live, how much money you make. That's all false because that doesn't tell us about a person.
Right.
That can be false. The honest stuff cannot be faked. The honest signals, for the most part, eye contact, body language, vocal tonality, energy, things like that. And we call those the sub communications, everything that's not being actually said. But because the thing is, like, we're taught from a very young age how to deceive and mislead and misdirect with our words. Like, that's not hard. We know how to do that. But we're not taught, like, we trust what we pick up on other people from their body language, their vocal tonality, and their eye contact. Those are the honest signals, and those make up like 80-90% of attraction.
So do you teach that to men, like the
yeah.
right, honest, like how do you?
Yeah, so when they download the Deadliest Pickup Line of All Time, when they go see that, they're going to see a video of me actually demonstrating this line
Oh,
in a
really?
whole conversation on a girl.
Okay.
They're going to see the whole thing. So what
Hold
they're
on
going
a minute. Sexwithemily.com/Jason. Watch him do this. Okay.
Yeah, so they'll see it live. And the reason that I was like if it's a Deadliest Pickup Line, like, you could do that on paper or like in audio, right? But the key thing is, and this is what I talk about in the videos you guys will see, is it's not the words that really matter. Because you ask a girl, like, if a guy she just met and she was attracted to, you're like, what did you talk about? She won't remember.
Right.
She has no idea. She just remembers the feeling. Remember the feelings
the
people give
feeling,
us.
it's true.
Of course. So in the video, that way you can see my body language. You can see my eye contact. You can see my vocal tonality. And you'll see her, she'll start playing with her hair at a certain point. I didn't tell her to do that, but it's because this is, like, attraction is hardwired. We can't help it. If we meet a guy, if a girl meets a guy and he's conveying these qualities about himself, she will feel attracted to him. So she starts playing with her hair, her pupils become dilated, her foot starts like moving around because she's a little nervous. So you can see all of these things happening live in front of you. And it's all about, I mean, the line is almost meaningless. Like, I mind fuck for like a professional. That's what I always say. Is like, I'm a professional mind fucker. Like, I teach people how to mind fuck because it's fun for me. And I like the words, and it's not manipulation, but it's like, it's leading people to do things that they wanted to do, but didn't necessarily feel like they had permission to do. Like a one night stand or something. Like, if a girl, like, here's the thing. Like, if a girl goes out with the intention of like I'm a girl who doesn't have one night stands, but there's this huge part of her inside that's like, God, it would be so much fun to meet a dangerous guy and just do it one time.
You're that guy?
I can, I'll tell you what to say to open her up so that part of her comes to the surface and is like, fuck it, I want to be free, I want to go do this. But you're not going to make her do it, you're just going to bring that to the surface, and then she gets to decide.
What do you do if you want, like, tell me. Okay. I want to know.
Okay, so I bet, I can almost guarantee that this has happened to you in your past. Like, the guy didn't know he was doing it, but it still happened, right? So if there's a girl who's like, you know, I'm so stuck in my head and like what my friends think about me if I had a one night stand with a guy I just met, that's how most girls are, like, for the most part. They're worried about being judged.
What if the guy doesn't call? What if their friends judge? Right? He talks about her. They only had a one night stand. Right?
Exactly. So I could say something to her like, you know what? Like, I can tell that you're like a very like rational person and you make a lot of like smart decisions, and that's good. But there's also like the side to you that just like is spontaneous and adventurous and independent and kind of like does what she wants, right?
Right.
And you'll say, yeah, like, I know that side
of course.
Yeah, and I'll be like, yeah, you know what? I like, in my life, just personally, like, I like to have all my friends, I call it ASI. Like, that's like the most important quality that someone who I'm going to spend time with can have. And it's being adventurous, spontaneous, independent. Like, those three things to me, I feel like the happiest people are always ASI, and the people who are always neurotic and worried about shit aren't. Like, they can't live in the moment, they can't go with their feelings, they can't trust themselves, they're so worried about everyone thinks. Like,
so true.
How fucked up is that?
So messed up.
Right? And now all of a sudden, I've laid down this frame of our conversation.
And I'm like, oh, I'm fun and spontaneous.
Exactly. So now that
next thing you know, we're in the bathroom, and I'm like on my knees or something.
But I didn't make you do anything you didn't want to.
No.
It's like you're subtly giving someone permission to be like, you know what, like, dude, like, you can be free.
And is it under the assumption that all of us have that part or aspire to be more spontaneous?
Well, here's the thing. Everyone
like, if I'm
has
type
that.
A, I'm like, don't call me type A. Like, I'm spontaneous, right? Right. Everyone does have that.
That's the thing. Everyone has a conservative side and everyone has a more adventurous side. And it's always going back and forth. But when we're like, I'm sure you have friends where you hang around and you guys act really goofy.
Right.
But then you have other friends where it's more like serious and philosophical, right?
Right.
Right. Because they bring out those sides to you. So if you're a guy who wants to pick up girls and go for one night stands, then you need to be the guy who can bring out the adventurous, spontaneous, independent side of her.
ASI, I like that. Mm-hmm. Love the acronyms, and I'll remember. Exactly. Okay, so but what about making you? Okay, well, first of all, you're sort of legendary at such a young age. Mm-hmm. No, but I hear you have some crazy sex stories.
I do, yeah.
I just want to hear what comes to mind when I say that. What's your crazy sex story? Well, and how did it happen? Can you talk me through the science of what happened when you got to get there?
Yeah. Okay. So I'll tell you.
Besides a lot of alcohol, no,
I'll tell you a local story.
Okay.
Okay. And alcohol always helps, of course.
Local, does that mean like it happened in
in, say, Santa Monica.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I travel a lot. I'm, like, speaking and coaching and stuff. So, like, some of these stories were, like, San Francisco. Actually, there's a story that happened on the trolley, the late-night trolley that goes around downtown.
Love it. I just moved.
I know.
Right,
That's what I'm saying.
okay.
Yeah. So there's one there. But they're, like...
Hard to pick. Cause
Chicago, New York, Miami, Vegas, Austin. Yeah, I mean, we can go all day. But let's go Santa Monica.
Okay.
So... recently I was at this bar in Brentwood, okay, and there was like a bunch of people there, and it was this girl's birthday, and she had a lot of friends there, and I meet this girl there, and we start talking, and immediately, like, we're not having a boring conversation. It's flirtatious from the start, right? Like, I think what I said to her was like, she was like at the bar, like, watching the television. It was like a hockey game, and I went up to her and I was like, like, you don't have to pretend to like sports to impress me. Like, I just like you for you, like something totally flirtatious and playful, right? So we're bantering, we're vibing. And then she started telling me that I was just like a normal LA douche who probably didn't read any books. That was what she said, which I thought was hilarious. But this is good, because if I know how to respond to that, then the tension is just going to rise and rise and rise. So she said
to you, you're probably an LA douche who doesn't read books. Because no one here reads books, they say.
Course, yeah.
But you do, anyway, but right.
Right. So, I mean, which to me is awesome, because I'm not only
You're
like...
so not that guy, right?
Right. So I can be everything. Right. So I said to her, I was like, that sounds exactly like a girl who doesn't read books. That sounds like something she would say, like, to make up for her own lack of book insecurities, right? So we start playing on that, and then we start talking about, like, Ayn Rand, because turns out we both love Ayn Rand.
Right.
And we connected on that, right? And we're talking about that. So after, like, 20 minutes of that, I'm like, this is how I usually get a girl to leave the bar. Like, to start, I'm just going to say, like, we had the adventurous, spontaneous, we had all those conversations. But I said to her, I was like, listen, it's like 1:30, it's, like, really crowded and hot in here. Like, let's go for a walk. Always, let's go for a walk. And she's like, done, let's go, right? Because we're spontaneous.
Right.
We already established that. So we're walking down the streets of, like, it was Wilshire Boulevard, like, up and down in Santa Monica, near, like, 26th, and we're, like, I'm, like, taking her behind, like, the Verizon parking lot. We're, like, making out there. And one of my favorite things to do is, like, slam a girl against the wall, like, protect her head, make
Not
out.
slam her, like, he protects her head. Okay.
Yes, of course. In, like, a dominant but, like, protective way, yeah. So we're, like, making out.
Women like that.
Of course.
A lot of women.
Yeah.
Dominant.
And you take your hands, you put both of them above her head, you hold them with one hand, like, yeah. So I'll do that for 10 seconds, and then this is, like, a big key, you guys out there, for, like, building sexual tension. I'll just let it all, the treasure chest.
Guys, you're letting it all out. Okay,
care,
guy,
right.
he usually charges a lot of money for this. Okay, yeah?
I just love sharing, I really
Right.
do. Plus, I'm bragging right now,
Right.
so, and it's under,
It's hot.
It's under the confines of I can do this, so this is cool. So, one of the best things you can do is when you, like, you're making out with her and you do that, like, the first kisses, be the one to pull back first. Take it away first. Leave her wanting more. So I'll push her against the wall and hands above the head, we're making out, and then after 10 seconds, I'll just slowly pull away and start walking away. I won't even turn around to look at her. And then she's like, what did you just do? What are you doing?
Right.
She starts chasing after me. Right? And she grabs up, she's like, what did you just do? And I'm just like, come on, let's go. Keep going.
Right.
Totally ignore it. And now she's like...
She's like, oh, is he... Right. You're keeping her on her toes.
Totally unpredictable. She has no idea what I'm going to do next.
Right.
Which
you're
is
an
where you
unpredictable
want her.
fun guy. Right.
Exactly.
Right.
So we're walking down the street, and I'm thinking to myself, so this is recently when I lived in Santa Monica. So I was like, how can I get her home? Okay, one of the most important things you have to remember is when you are taking a girl home, it's almost always better if you can have a reason why you're going there besides we're there to have sex.
Right.
The first time, at least. Because that way she can
Oh,
rationalize
I
to
gotta feed my
herself.
dog or whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Right.
Like, this video I have to show you, or we're hungry, let's make fruit smoothies, whatever it is. So...
Smoothies.
Yeah, but I wanted to
That
push
works
it.
for me every time.
Right? Who doesn't want a fruit smoothie at 2 in the morning?
Everyone does. Yeah.
It's healthy, right? It's like a very
Totally.
easy sell. But this is not a normal sex story. This is a crazy sex story.
Okay, right.
So I like to push boundaries. I like to take chances and stuff. So I said to her, it was like 2 in the morning. I'm like, have you ever? You know what I said? I said, are you a spontaneous person? That was like the first thing. All right, would you like consider yourself a spontaneous person? Of course, she goes, yeah. I'm like, all right, let's go to the beach then. Boom, grab her by the hand, tail on a cab. And went straight to like the Santa Monica beach. Okay, so she's already like she's spontaneous. This is what she's doing. She's committed. So immediately we go to the beach. It was really funny because we were walking like over that bridge down to the beach in Santa Monica, and we're like walking like we're on the sand, and she like stops me like 100 feet from the water, and she's like, "Wait, I need to know right now." She's like, "Are you like just having fun, or are you like looking for something more?"
Right.
Which is she was thinking about. Like
Okay.
this was basically her saying, "If we have sex right now, what should I expect?"
Right.
Okay. And this is something I teach all guys. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, what?
Never fucking lie to a woman. Ever. Just be like, here's the thing. Guys think if they lie, like, and they tell her what she wants to hear, that's going to somehow be better. One, it will always fuck you in the ass if you do that at some point. She knows, she knows in some level when you're telling the truth. Like, she'll always know.
Right.
And they love it when you're just blatantly honest. Like, it's so rare and refreshing nowadays that it's actually an attractive quality.
Exactly.
So just be blatantly honest.
So what'd you say?
So I said, no, I'm just having fun. Like, I make no guarantees about what's going to happen after, but I know right now I'm, like, really enjoying this moment with you, and I want to keep building this adventure with you. And she was like, okay, cool.
Great. That's all she needed to know.
Yeah.
Okay.
She knows where to put me in her emotional compartment, whatever
Right.
it is, which is fine. So we get towards the water. I just start taking all my clothes off. She joins. We get naked. We go in the water. It's 3 a.m. now.
Oh, it's
There's
freezing
no one on
too,
the
right?
beach.
Or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
All I'm thinking is how cold
the water
it is,
was cold. Well, that was my thing. Is I'll just be totally honest. Is I was like, how am I gonna get a boner in like freezing cold water?
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought. Okay.
No, it was fine.
Okay, good.
It worked out really well.
Okay.
I think the whole experience was just really hot, so it made no problem. But we went in the water, we did things, and then at like 4 we get out and we're like walking. So here's the part: we're walking out of the ocean now. We've already like been asleep. We're fucking like
Right.
So
On the same. Okay, I'm just trying to understand. Like, did you have a blanket?
no, we were in the water.
You had sex in the water.
Yeah.
In the ocean.
Like in like the shallow parts, the water was like up to our waist. Let's say.
With the sand and everything, though. No protection. This isn't good. Everyone use protection.
That was
Okay,
bad.
but go ahead.
That was bad.
Kids-
I thought the salt in the water would help. Okay.
It doesn't. People, protection. Go ahead. Carry it in your pocket.
99% of the time, I always
Right.
make
This
sure.
is the first time he's ever not used protection.
Ever. So
Safe sex. Safe sex with Emily. Yeah.
I actually do agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're walking out of the water and like our feet are now wet and we're covered in sand and like throw our clothes on each other. Like we're still kind of wet and my apartment's 4 blocks away. So I'm like, all right, let's go shower. Go straight to my place. We go in the shower. Now we're like washing each other off. We spent the whole night fucking and then
Right.
it was an amazing night, right? And a huge part of that whole thing was there's 2 things, okay? I always say like if you're going to have a one night stand with a girl, one, you need to always be leading, okay? She will not take initiative for her to have a one night stand. Like unless she's like I need to have sex tonight, she's not going to do that. You need to be the one leading. You need to be the one saying, "All right, let's go for a walk." How spontaneous are you? Let's go to the beach. Let's go take a shower.
Right.
Like you need to be leading her on this fun, exciting, unpredictable adventure. And then I mean that's really the big thing. The number 2 is giving her permission.
Did you ever see her again?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you date her? Like,
Not seriously.
she's in your
but
rotation.
Sure, we could say that. She's, you know what? She's much more than a rotation girl to me.
Oh, she is. She's more than a rotation girl.
She's the ocean girl to me.
She's the ocean, the ocean rotation.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you say? How do you make her want to like rip your clothes off? Like, how do you create like that sexual energy? How do you do that?
Okay, so there's 2 parts to this. All right, number 1 is the subcommunications. So you can like turn a girl on just with your eye contact. Like most guys don't realize this because they've never looked the girl in the eyes.
Guys who look down and like they don't look at the woman in the eye makes me crazy.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, those guys, if you're out there listening to this, like, stop doing that. You're telling her that you don't consider yourself worthy of her when you won't look her in the eyes. That's literally what you're saying. So if you don't consider yourself worthy of her, how the fuck is she going to think that she should be attracted to you? Mm-hmm. If you don't think that you're worthy, why would she think so?
And this is something, the eye contact is something, you have to like practice it. Now, I mean, I do it with everyone now, I've had to learn it, and when I don't do eye contact, even if it's a business meeting, I notice when I'm not, because I'm so self-aware that eye contact is so important with every kind of communication.
Do you ever notice what situations where, like, it comes up more?
Well,
what situations are
it's usually, when I'm really trying to focus on something or think about, like right now, like I close my eyes and I think sometimes and I think it's a distraction, but it usually comes up when I'm like thinking. I look up to think, and then I access my brain, and then I go back down. That's what it is usually.
When you're not making good eye contact.
When I'm making good eye, but otherwise, I really try because then I feel like it's just a false connection with someone. Like everyone just feels better.
Right.
I mean, Bill Clinton was the most amazing. That's why amazing politicians.
The reality distortion field. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, ironically, like I don't read like. I hate like nonfiction books. Like they bore the fuck out of me. Like this guy's telling me like 8 steps. I'm just like, fuck you, get out of here. I learned best from reading biographies. Those are my favorite things to read. And the last like 5 books that I've read have been biographies of like great men, like great leaders, and every single one of them there was like chapters dedicated to their eye contact.
Seriously.
So it was Clinton was one of them. Okay, I'm Jewish, but I read a book about Hitler because I wanted to like learn more about that. And he would pierce people's souls with his eyes. Steve Jobs was known for his fucking stare down. I'm reading a book on Russell Brand. He talks about eye contact in there. He's like one of my favorite people in the world.
Right.
But it's like all these guys, every like badass dude has figured out that the way to get what you want is be amazing with eye contact.
Right.
You know, David's great with it too.
Yeah.
So our friend David Wagner. Yeah. So it's like, it's so important.
Right.
It's so fucking important.
It's so important. Eye contact. It's something anyone can learn, but you got to practice it.
Mm-hmm.
And then start to realize right now when you're listening to this, even if you're like, ordering your coffee at the coffee shop this morning, are you looking at the barista when you're ordering your coffee? Like most people aren't. And I even make, like wherever I go, like I just try to make eye contact. It just makes a connection with everyone, which I think
it totally does, yeah.
It's much more like, I don't know, I think you're more in touch with your heart and more in touch with your life. Like when you really are connecting with everyone you come in contact with.
Yeah. And because when you're like looking someone dead in the eyes and they're looking right back at you, there's a part of you, the reason that you probably don't feel comfortable doing it right now is because you feel like there's some part of you that like you normally hide that they can see now, right? Because the eyes are the windows to the soul, right? So it's like you look someone dead in the eyes, it's like you're being totally vulnerable and you're putting it all out there. And that makes you uncomfortable right now. But the truth is that if you're a guy who can just look at a woman in the eyes, just totally open and free and nonchalant and don't care, that's attractive. Because you're saying, this is me entirely, I fucking own it, like I know you love it, and that's it.
Right.
And that turns her on right there. So you want to talk about sexual tension? We could be talking about socks right now, but if we have this strong eye contact going, and I'm like, I just love black socks, like just those like Argyle socks. There's something about them, But we're just holding this eye contact. The tension just builds.
Exactly.
So it's like it's
building right now. Can you all feel it?
Yeah. But it's like you don't need amazing lines to like turn someone on.
No,
just be
it's
present
not about lines. It's
and
like,
be there.
It's all. So what we're saying here today, and we're gonna have to wrap up. But if you want to hear more from Jason, go to sexwithemily.com/Jason. I think that's what it is. .com/Jason JASON. And they're getting your free video.
Mm-hmm. The deadliest pickup line.
The deadliest pickup line. It's awesome. You guys have got to check this out, and you'll just learn more about Jason when he's like. But I think this is really helpful that you had to learn this because people think. I think so many men and women spend time like beating themselves up about like why can't I do it, but it's like a learned skill. Like everything you want to be good at in life,
of course.
You got to practice.
Well, here's the thing: I just heard this quote the other day, and I thought it was fucking awesome. But it's like everyone is self-created, but only successful people want to admit it, right? So like exactly where you are right now, like you made yourself that way. So like just accept it, don't get mad about it, but just accept it, take it for what it is, and understand that also tells you that you have the power to create whoever you want to be a week from now, a month from now, a year from now. So this is a skill. Like you've taught yourself how to make bad eye contact with someone,
right.
And now you can teach yourself how to make good eye contact.
Exactly. I love that every single biography you wrote was about eye contact because I think that's so important.
It's amazing, yeah.
I know. It's really good stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, Jason, you're the best. Thank you. And thanks, everyone, for listening to Sex with Emily. Again, please check out sexwithemily.com/Jason. Why can't I say slash today? My Michigan accent just came out. Slash Jason. Also, check out all of my podcasts. I've got hundreds of podcasts. If this is your first Sex with Emily podcast, you can find them all on iTunes. You can subscribe. Go to my website, sexwithemily.com. And put in your email address and get my free report of the 5 biggest mistakes. We have one for men and one for women that you are making in bed. I guarantee you will see yourself in one of those profiles. Just little tweaks here and there. You can change it so you can rock his or her world. Also, check out my book, Hot Sex, over 200 things you can try tonight. This is all on my website. My iPhone app, Kegel Camp. Hello, men and women. You want to have stronger orgasms? Check out Kegel Camp and check out my other iPhone app, which is Sex with Emily's Sex Drive, which is for couples. It helps you enhance your sex life and do all those crazy things that you want to do, but you're afraid to ask. So, thanks everyone for listening to Sex with Emily. Was it good for you? Email me, feedback@sexwithemily.com. Have you guys heard my news? I have a new sex gig. I'm not a porn star. It's better. I just launched my new premium skincare brand called Emily & Tony. These products are tried and true to help spice up your sex life, which is what I'm all about. I'm talking about massage oil candles that are 1 part candle, 1 part body oil, and check out these flavors. They come in delicious scents like creme de vanilla, cocoa, and fougere. And they're hydrating, and they leave your skin feeling super luxurious. We even have a product for the guys called Down Under Comfort that helps keep their balls smelling fresh and clean and dry all day, which is exactly what you want, right? So guys, if you take care of your balls, your partner will take care of you. So help us keep this podcast free. Use code Emily to get 20% off your first purchase at emilyandtony.com. Trust me, you'll love them, and you're welcome.